Welcome back to Old Coin Adventures. Imagine holding the very first silver dollar ever issued by the United States of America. Not a replica, not a copy, the real thing. A coin that helped build an entire nation. Today, one genuine example has sold for more than $10 million, making it one of the most valuable coins ever sold in history. Think about that. A single silver dollar, worth more than luxury mansions, private jets, and entire collections of rare cars. But here's the unbelievable part. When this coin was first created, its value was only $1. No one could have imagined that over 200 years later, collectors would compete to pay millions for a single surviving example. So, what makes this coin so extraordinary? Was it simply old? Was it made from rare silver? Does it represent something much greater? The answer takes us back to the very beginning of the United States itself. Just a few years after winning independence, America faced a serious problem. The country had no official national currency. People used Spanish silver coins, foreign money, and even traded goods instead of American coins. A growing nation needed its own money, something that represented freedom, independence, and a new beginning. So in 1792, Congress passed the Coinage Act, and for the first time in history, the United States Mint was established in Philadelphia. Its mission was simple: create a currency that every American could trust. 2 years later, that historic mission produced a coin that would change American history forever. The legendary 1794 flowing hair silver dollar. But creating America's very first silver dollar would prove far more difficult than anyone expected, and the first day of production would become one of the most important moments in the history of American money. Let's continue. The year was 1794. Inside the Philadelphia Mint, workers prepared for something that had never been done before. America was about to strike its very first official silver dollar. The responsibility was enormous. If anything went wrong, the country's first national dollar would become a failure. The design of the coin was entrusted to Robert Scott, the first chief engraver of the United States Mint. For the front of the coin, he chose a young Lady Liberty with long flowing hair. Her flowing hair represented freedom, hope, and the birth of a new nation. Around her portrait were 15 stars, 1 star for each state that belonged to the United States in 1794. On the reverse, an American eagle stood proudly, surrounded by a simple wreath. Compared to modern American coins, the design looked surprisingly simple. But for the people of that era, it symbolized something priceless. A nation that finally had its own official money. Then, production began. But problems appeared almost immediately. The heavy silver planchets were difficult to strike. The coin presses didn't always apply enough pressure. Many of the first coins came out weakly struck. Some details, especially on the eagle, were faint or incomplete. Mint workers knew the quality wasn't perfect. Yet, history could not wait. The new nation needed silver dollars. So production continued. By the end of the first striking, only about 1,758 coins had been produced. No one inside the mint could have imagined that more than 2 centuries later, those few surviving coins would become some of the most valuable treasures in the entire world. Because what seemed like an ordinary day's work had actually created the very first chapter of American coin history. At first, the 1794 flowing hair dollar was simply another coin in circulation. People used it to buy food, pay debts, and conduct everyday business. No one treated it like a priceless treasure. As the years passed, most of these historic coins disappeared forever. Some became badly worn. Many were melted down for their silver. Others were simply lost to history. Generation after generation, the number of surviving coins continued to shrink. Then, nearly 200 years later, collectors made an astonishing discovery. Experts believe only around 150 authentic 1794 flowing hair dollars still survive today. And among those, only a handful remain in exceptional condition. That's when the coin's value exploded. Collectors weren't just buying an old silver dollar. They were buying the beginning of American money itself. Then came one of the greatest moments in numismatic history. In 2013, one extraordinary example appeared at auction. Experts believed it may have been the very first silver dollar ever struck by the United States Mint. Collectors from around the world entered a fierce bidding war. The price climbed higher and higher until the final hammer fell. More than $10 million. At that moment, the 1794 flowing hair dollar became one of the most expensive coins ever sold anywhere in the world. A coin, originally worth just $1, had become a multimillion-dollar national treasure. And its incredible journey was only just beginning. But the story doesn't end there. Today, the 1794 flowing hair dollar is far more than just a rare coin. It represents the birth of American currency. Every collector who dreams of owning one isn't simply buying silver. They are buying a piece of American history. More than 2 centuries later, this remarkable coin continues to fascinate historians, collectors, and museums around the world. Whenever experts list the greatest American coins ever made, the 1794 flowing hair dollar is almost always at the very top. Not because it's the rarest, not because it's made from special metal, but because it was the beginning. The very first official silver dollar issued by the United States. Its incredible importance was proven once again in January 2022 at a major auction held by Stack's Bowers Galleries in Las Vegas. One magnificent example of the 1794 flowing hair dollar appeared before collectors. Bidding started, and within minutes, collectors from around the world were competing fiercely. The price climbed higher and higher until the final hammer fell. The historic coin sold for approximately $12 million. More than 200 years after it was first struck, America's very first silver dollar was still making history. Just imagine if another unknown example was discovered tomorrow, hidden inside an old family collection. The entire numismatic world would come to a standstill. Experts would immediately examine it. Auction houses would compete for the right to sell it. And collectors would prepare to bid millions of dollars. That's the magic of historic coins. Sometimes, the greatest treasures come in the smallest packages. The 1794 flowing hair dollar reminds us that history can fit into the palm of your hand, and that one small silver coin can become one of America's greatest treasures. If you enjoyed this documentary, please like this video and subscribe to Old Coin Adventures for more incredible stories about rare and valuable American coins. And remember, every old coin has a story, but only a few change history forever. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next adventure.